Hello, 6th graders. I hope you have been doing well. So yesterday we talked about the first part of 1.3, which was all on factors. Today we are going to continue 1.3, but instead talk about multiples. So just a reminder, a factor is two whole numbers multiplied to produce another number. So we had to find our factors of certain numbers, and then we ended up making a list from least to greatest. Today we're going to talk about multiples. Multiples is the product of two whole numbers. So go ahead and fill out your notes there. So a multiple is the product of two whole numbers. So let's look at the first problem. It says to highlight all the multiples of each number. So pull out your highlighter. What we are going to do is we are going to find multiples of 4. Okay? So 4 times 1 gives me 4. 4 times 2 gives me 8. 4 times 3 gives me 12. 4 times 4 gives me 16. 4 times 5 gives me 20. So far, our first couple multiples of 4 are 4, 8, oops, I highlighted the wrong one, I'm sorry. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and we're going to continue until we get all the way through our hundreds chart. So 4 times 5 is 20, so 4 times 6 is 24, 4 times 7 is 28, 4 times 8 is 32, 4 times 9 is 36, 4 times 10 is 40, 4 times 11, 44, 4 times 12, 48, and now if you notice, there's a pattern going on as we are highlighting these numbers. I see that every fourth number I'm highlighting. So I go from 4, 1, 2, 3, I highlighted that one. 1, 2, 3, highlighted. So if you want, you can continue doing the multiplication, or you can just figure out the pattern. So I went 1, 2, 3, my next number is 52. 1, 2, 3, and then 56, and then 60, 64, 68, 72, 76, 80, 84, 88, 92, 96, and 100. So I just found the first many multiples of 4. So if I wanted, I could list all of these numbers. So here are my multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and the list goes on and on and on forever. That's the main difference between a factor and a multiple. Multiple goes on forever. I'm adding 4 to each number each time. But my factors up here did not go on forever. Those are just the numbers that are multiplied together to give me the number I'm looking for. So now let's look at 6. We are going to do the same thing. We are going to highlight our multiples of 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 9 is 54. 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 11 is 66. 6 times 12 is 72. I want you to go ahead and finish the rest of this box and see if you get the same thing I do, because we're just going to be finding the pattern. So go ahead and take a second, pause the video, and figure out the rest of the box, and then come back and check it, see if we got the same ones. Alright, so I got 78, and then I got 84, and then 90, and then 96, and that was all. Great job. Alright, so now we're going to work on listing the first multiples of a given number from least to greatest. So we're going to start with 3. Alright, so oops, I don't want a highlighter, I want a pencil. So, there are 2 ways we could do this. I could write 3 times 1, which is 3. 3 times 2, which is 6. 3 times 3, which is 9, all the way until I get that number to 12. So my last number will be 3 times 12. But if you already know the multiples of 3 off the top of your head and you don't need to write this out, then you certainly don't have to. So for instance, I already know all of that. So my first multiple is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 11 is 33. And 3 times 12 is 36. So this would have been my last number down here. So if I write it out this way without writing out all this, my numbers are already in order from least to greatest. Start at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and then I continue going. So I have written the first 12 multiples of 3. So now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do it with 8. So again, if you want to, you can write 8 times 1, 8. 8 times 2, 16. 8 times 3. If they don't stick out really well in your brain, okay? So I already know most of my multiples of 8. So my first one is always 8. And then 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 52. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. Oops, I messed up. I'm sorry. 8 times 7 was 56, not 52. If you caught that, good catch. So I just did 8 times 9, which is 72. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 11 is 88. And 8 times 12 is 96. So I have just listed my first 12 multiples of 8. And that is the end of the lesson. So the thing to remember is that our multiples are just adding by whatever number you're finding your multiples of each time. So for instance, from 8 to 16, I added 8. From 16 to 24, I also added 8. 24 to 32, I added 8, and so on. If I look at my first one, each time I was adding 3. And then if I even went up here, each time I was adding 4. And number 2, each time I was adding 6. So multiples are just adding 6 or adding whatever number it is each time. So right now, if you have not finished the E.4 IXL, go ahead and finish that. And then finish the back side of 1.3's worksheet. I hope you have a great day. Please let me know if you have any questions.